going on, everyone? I'm Encore. This is Tomorrow Never Comes, and today's video is all about old versus new, and specifically related to the finance sector. So all the things like the banks, the institutions that we are used to now versus blockchain systems going forward or technology going forward. All right, so I just want to jump right into this and let me get myself out of here a little bit. Hold on. There we go. All right, so why did I call it a dinosaur? The systems currently in place, they're decades, maybe 100 years old. Okay, they're just stuck in a way that the world we once inhabited, everything worked for that, or at the very least, it wasn't that annoying, or there were no alternatives. Okay, so what do we mean specifically here? It's finite times. What does that even mean? Well, your bank, what does it open at? 9:30, runs to 5, 6, 7:30, Monday to Friday. Maybe there's half a day Saturday and definitely nothing on Sunday. Maybe a couple now are starting, but it's very rare. Okay, so that means anything that you want to do that requires your bank or your financial institution has to be within those specified times. Now, if you yourself work and you do a 9 to 5 or a 10 to 7 or whatever shift you do, how do you get to the bank in those times? You got to take a day off, or go on your day off, or take time off, or leave early. You've got to do things to accommodate that brick and mortar, which is the bank. Okay, and it's not always conducive to your schedule or to what you're trying to do. Okay, and sometimes certain things need to be done right away, but now we've put in buffers. Okay, so because we need access to these banks in order to get things done. I mean, if you want to just go just based on annoyance, right? Human to human annoyance is long lines. When you get to the teller, is it the customer support you want? Is it, and then for the teller themselves, can the person explain what they're trying to do? And then you go through that back and forth. Then you also get human error, right? And certain things that are being done, you are involving another human being in your transaction or in your endeavor. And so there is a portion of that which is prone to human error. Okay. Now, when I say information barriers, what am I talking about? When I've gone to wire certain things, I always got to tell them why I'm wiring it. Certain why, who, what, where. I mean, look, that's my money. I shouldn't have to explain that to you. Now, maybe obviously you want it for your system, you want to collect data, I get it. But I shouldn't have to tell you a single thing. I want to send my money here, go send it here. That's it. End of story. Okay, regardless of what you do, there are fees associated with it. Okay, well, I just spoke about doing a wire transfer. That's $50 fee for the most part. If you do nothing, 0 transactions, there is a monthly fee. For what? No one's done anything. They don't even keep your money. They lend it out 9 times to somebody else. So what is the fee to you? But we all accept that as the norm. Okay. Transactional limitations is another one. So we can kind of group that into finite times for the bank itself or the institution itself. So there's obviously certain time periods, but even certain things, they have to be out by 2 p.m. or 1 p.m. or, especially when it comes to certain stock related things that I've done before. Mutual funds, if you're buying it yourself, if you put in an order, it has to be in by a certain date, or it's executed the next day. That's crazy to me. All right, now you're looking at borders. There are limitations to where you can send your money, right? If it's a country that it doesn't deem it worthy that you send money to, or is suspicious, they're going to ask you a bunch of questions. There's also an issue where it gets sent back to you or doesn't go through at all. There's all these kinds of headaches that are working through doing what you need to do, and we never think twice about it because that's the system that we live in. Right? We assume that, hey, if I want to send something and something happens, that's on me. That's not on the institution in between for the most part. Okay, and then there's fees, even if it doesn't go through. Trying to reverse those fees. I mean, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare trying to go through all of this now. And here's what I want to say. Well, I'll save that for the end of what I want to say. Just to kind of as an overarching concept over all of this, okay? So that's really the dinosaur portion of this, is that we're stuck in a system that's so far outdated. We need to transition over into what are our alternatives, okay? And there are alternatives, and blockchain is an alternative, okay? Cryptocurrency is an alternative. We can talk about Bitcoin. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? Within blockchain itself, there are certain things that exist similar to the old system, all right? But I don't want to get too nuanced in that. But there are certain currencies within crypto, certain exchanges, they're centralized exchanges, so they act just like the banks. More flexibility there, but still along the same line. So definitely there is some of that here. But if we look at Bitcoin itself, that's kind of where my focus usually lies right now. This is the epitome of new age. It's 24/7, 365 days of the year. I didn't even mention that in part of the old dinosaur system, is that they're not even open every day, right? You get holidays, you get whether it be Thanksgiving, it's your own local holiday, or it's Christmas holidays where it's lengthy holidays, or New Year's. All these things, there are limitations there too, but nothing in crypto exists to that. Okay, this is peer-to-peer. There is no middleman doing this, or middlewoman either. Okay, it is straight from me to you. Now there are some fees when we're talking about Bitcoin. They are so minuscule, it's not even funny. Okay, I believe a while ago someone had sent over $1 billion in Bitcoin, and maybe for the transaction fee was about $1.20 or $1.12 or whatever it was. It was very, very small, less than $2. Okay, that's crazy. That will never happen in our current system now. Okay, and then when I say all of the lesses, what does that mean? It's borderless. Doesn't matter where you are in which country. I'm sending it directly from me to your wallet. Okay, it's not censorless. Nobody can shut it down if they don't like it. They can't freeze my accounts. Okay, it's permissionless. I don't need to tell anybody where I'm sending it, why I'm sending it. It just goes on its own. So all of those lessons, they're very important. And the more you get involved in this new age, this blockchain, the deeper you get, you see the true value behind it. And people always say, what's the use case for Bitcoin, this and that? I mean, at the very least, as a payment, okay, as a mode of payment, sending it from one person to the other. Even if it's not, hey, you want to buy a cup of coffee or pay for your hotel, those do exist. It's also possible, I believe for Airbnb, certain ones that they will accept crypto. All of those use cases, but very, very basic is I'm sending you money. Could be that you're in a different country, you want to send money home. There's all those fees associated with the Western Unions, and how much the recipient actually receives is much different than how much you actually send. Okay, not the case here. So all of the lesses, borderless, permissionless, censorless, all these things factor in to make this alternative much more aligned with what we're trying to do. And that's the point here, is that we can point and say, and anyone in the dinosaur system who has benefited from it, whether they be bankers or associated somehow with the banking system, they're always going to have the loudest voice in opposition to the new one. Always. And that doesn't go for bank, that's any technology. Okay? And that's where this is the overarching concept that I'm talking about. You look here, some of you watching this may not even know what these things are, but for the most part, you'll know. For the vast majority of you, you will know what I'm talking about, okay? We're going from the regular phones, the rotary phones. I remember those rotary phones, and we would laugh at the concept of having a cordless phone. Didn't make any sense, okay? Then the cordless phone came out. These are landlines, the alternative to having the rotary phones, which were landlines. And then we would move over into the cell phone. Now, this one shows an iPhone, but there was a massive, Zach Morris, if you guys watched Saved by the Bell, had a very big cell phone, and those were the first ones. So everyone would laugh. They're not useful. They don't make sense. How can you carry that anywhere with you? All those things that people who are benefiting from being a landline would say to discount mobile phones, mobiles. Those were in play then because the technology hadn't gotten there, but it was on its way. Okay, you look at the typewriter versus the laptops, right? This was the thing at that time. It was normal. You don't even ever see a typewriter. I didn't even really use a typewriter back in the day. And so, I mean, this one you could say typewriter to desktop and then to laptop. But the gist here is that typewriter to computer, right? Something digital. Again, people are like, what is this? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't have any use cases. Who cares? Let's continue to use the technology at hand. And the last one I found kind of funny is that, you know, this is a video cassette, right? And it's saying to the iPod that I'm your father. Cheesy joke, but it kind of works. And it's true. We all were, you know, they had that, what was it, the 8-track, and then you would go to the cassette player, and then we're on to like CDs and then iPod. So all these technologies, these are just like, these are the smaller technologies. Obviously, there are bigger technologies at play that always had a hard time transitioning to the new one, right? Horse and buggy to the car, right? That's one. So the same thing is here. You're always going to hear people in the dinosaur system, the old incumbent system, talk all kinds of smack about anything that's new age. All right. And just like these ones here, okay, all these technologies are here. And the iPod, that evolved, right, to the nanos and other things like that. You know, you look at even just cameras. Your phone can take better quality pictures than a lot of cameras can, right? But even the camera technology has changed vastly, Polaroid to digital. So all these things there's always going to be backlash. There's always going to be resistance, okay? But that doesn't mean that you can't get in early and understand how this is going to play out. Now, all these things here evolved over time and became better and better. So same thing with blockchain. I mean, Bitcoin is what it is. That technology has opened the door for so much more. And that so much more will evolve into more use cases, more utility as we go further. What you see today, even in Bitcoin, the Bitcoin ecosystem, while it's a store of value now, there is a lot of movement happening now in terms of what's being built on top of this network, whether it be the Lightning Network, even DeFi protocols that will be on here, meaning lending, borrowing, and all that kind of stuff. That's all happening. You just may not hear about it. Okay, so even this new age technology has, you know, a ways to go in terms of what it's going to evolve into, and none of us know what that's going to look like. And that's the beauty of this. But where it exists today is still light years better than where we currently are in our old system. Okay, so I wanted to touch on that. I hope you guys found value in this video. Hit the thumbs up button, you know, like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell if you found value in this video. And I will say this: share it to your friends, share it to people who, even if they don't agree, if they are in this system, right, or if they're on the fence of going new age but they don't know how to get there, or should they get there. You know, if this is something that's important, I want everyone to understand that this is a technology play. Even though we're talking about finances, it's a technology play, and we all need to understand that. So guys, don't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. Take action, invest in yourself today, and I'll see you guys in the next video.